So I'm not going to go back over the plays. But, guys, it was what it was. I mean, I thought that at the boundary, at corner, you made some really good plays. I thought Greg Penn, outside of that bad tackle, had some really good plays on some of those short runs. But the problem was that the interior of the defensive line was so bad. Now, the busted coverage was both busted coverages were something that you just can't have, man. And I know that you have a new staff, you have a new defense, and everything is new. But, man, that's two blown coverages, what appear to be by Sage Ryan. One we know for sure. The Kyron Lacy 75-yard bomb, I mean, and we didn't even talk about that offensively. But this Kyron Lacy 75-yard bomb is cover two. Garrett Nussmeier knows it's cover two and is literally saying, I know that Kyron Lacy is better than Sage Ryan. I am going to throw it to Kyron Lacy. And he does. And, guys, it's a 75-yard touchdown. Those types of things cannot happen. And so now you have to ask yourself the honest question. Is it personnel or is it scheme? Because I know that you've only had 15 practices with Blake Baker, and things can get better. And I think they will get better. I still have a lot of faith for this defense because of the talent that they have. And you saw it with a lot of guys on the second team, which we'll talk about in a moment. But I look at this secondary and say, man, it's not good enough. You're going to have to pull some of these experienced guys for a guy like Kylan Jackson, for a guy like Deshaun McBride. Because if you don't, you're going to go into another year where you get roasted. Guys, I don't mind if Kyron Lacy is going off on you. I expect him to go off on you. What bothers me from a coverage aspect is that you're getting beat and blown coverages. The Xavier Thomas, what did Nussmeier do that was so, like, it's not like Nussmeier scrambled. Now, he got up in the pocket. He bought some time, got up in the pocket, threw it to Xavier Thomas. But that should not have stopped anything. When it comes to a guy like Nussmeier, defensively, you have to know. You have to know that let him take off and run. Don't give up the bomb to Xavier Thomas for a score. If you're in cover two, the only thing that you have, if you're in cover two and you're Sage Ryan, don't let anybody behind me. That, guys, quite honestly, that is day one high school installation. Okay? Now, could you give Sage Ryan the benefit of the doubt that he maybe didn't get a call in time? I don't know. But everybody else on the field was running cover two besides Sage Ryan. If it's a communication issue, okay, if it's a communication issue, then maybe I will live with it. But when you have what you had a year ago, and guys, we're talking about basic cover two. Basic. Guys, cover two and coverage outside of man is by far the most simple shit that you can run. Safety takes this half, doesn't let anybody behind him. The other safety takes that half, doesn't let anybody behind him. And your corners are going to stay in the middle within 10 yards. So from the first down marker to the line of scrimmage is going to be theirs. That is legitimately it. And if you cannot effectively run that, we have a problem. Let's get to the interior defensive line. I see that we have a super chat in here, and we'll get to it. I took a lot of your criticism and rolled with it. You said, stop talking about the interior defensive line. Stop talking about the interior defensive line. If I'm talking about the defense and what they did today, tell me in the chat right now what you want me to talk about. Guys, they got obliterated. It's not just one person. And quite honestly, I don't know if I can make a full judgment on a guy like Perkins, like for example, Perk on there was the swing pass to Aaron Anderson from being an inside middle linebacker. Perk identified it, read it, got out into the flat, and had a TFL on Aaron Anderson. It's a great play from a backer. When it comes to a running game, I don't know how I can judge Harold Perkins right now. I have no clue. Because the guys in front of him are getting beat that bad. Guys, it was a beating. And I know that Brian Kelly said that we're going to go in the portal and on Monday and start addressing this. You better, because you're just not good enough there. And listen, if you want to get where you want to go, I would assume that everybody believes that LSU is a place where you need, especially with a 12-team playoff, you need to be in the playoff every year. That is who you are. You win games on both lines of scrimmages. That's how majority of teams will always win. It's how Georgia won back-to-back national titles. It's how Michigan won a national title last year. Quite honestly, and a lot of times you won't give them credit, it's how 2019 and 2020 LSU and Alabama did it too. They were really good on both lines of scrimmage. Now, Burrow's a whole different animal, and I get you. That's why he's right here. I'm with you that Burrow was a different animal. You won a lot on both lines of scrimmage. If you want to get where you want to go, if you want to make a playoff, you got to get better there. If you do not, it's going to be a long season. Screw the busted coverages. Screw the coverages in general, because I saw things today from guys like P.J. Woodland, right? Like I saw today that P.J. Woodland is who we thought he could be. Playing a lot of man-to-man, bump and run coverage, looked fantastic. He has all spring. I saw Ashton Stamps not look too bad either. Coverage is going to be what it is. And if a guy busts the coverage, he's got to go. There's too many talented guys that you've recruited. You got to put them in there. But the biggest issue on this team, the biggest issue that Brian Kelly has ever had, I know that he had 39 scholarship players when he first got here. I will tell you, not as big of an issue. That was not, in my opinion, Blake's lost his damn mind. I knew that he could go in the portal, and he was going to have to go in the portal and get a lot of dudes. He hit on a lot of them. The biggest weakness that he's had, even more than special teams in year one. Guys, now you saw it today for your own self. Now you saw it today for your own self. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, yeah. All in all, I think it was a good day for you as a team. Defensively, it was not good. Now, let me talk about the second team. The first team got obliterated. Let's call it what it is. The second team, though, made some really good plays. And I think that you saw where you have talent. Guys, Gabe Rutherford had 2 sacks today. Big time. That is big time. From the freshman. Kylan Jackson had 2 sacks in 2 series in back-to-back series. On the 4th drive, he got a sack on A.J. Swan. Okay. But for whatever reason, they called that back. They blew the whistle. I don't know why that is, but I'm going to give it to him regardless, but they did not give it to him. The very next play, it's 3rd and 4, and Kylan Jackson has a PBU on Shelton Sampson. Guys, if he's going to do that, if your safety can go up one-on-one against a kid that's 6'4", 6'5", and that can run and be physical and get a PBU and knows his assignments, I got to be real with you. You got to play him over Sage. In the sixth drive, he gets a sack on Ricky Collins. And before that, he was the one that stopped Caleb Jackson after gaining 9 yards on a busted run. If he does not make that tackle, we would have talked about Caleb Jackson in a second on another run. Thought Deshaun McBride looked good. You notice how every quarterback went away today from Deshaun McBride? That stuff was not thrown in his general direction. You want to know why that was? Your safety room's got a lot of talent. And your second unit had a lot of talent on it. I thought the Weeks brothers didn't look bad at linebacker. But I think, I mean, BK said this in his press conference on Thursday. We're going to rotate in all four linebackers. Both Weeks brothers and with Perkins and Penn. And they're going to have to. So the second and third team looked a lot better. I think that's to be expected, though, in a lot of ways. But, yeah,